You should just talk. You don't have to raise your hand. I'm not being polite. You don't gotta be polite. Just talk one.
You finally turned out the fucking black shit. You got your, you had to get your rant out. I appreciate that. You know, you got to get that shit out of your chest, out of your head, and all that. I appreciate that, man. I got to do that once in a while too.
Okay, what's your question?
Question? Oh, I don't know if I had a question. Just raising your hand. I mean, that's what I did. But
listen, guy, I'm already a little pissed off. Now you're pissing me off even more. So, what do you want to say?
Don't kick me out. Come on, man.
What do you want to say? Go ahead.
It didn't necessarily have to be a question.
Speak your mind, buddy. Speak your mind. You got the floor. Don't stop filibustering.
Whatever. Dude, I ain't that smart.
Yeah, I can tell. I can fucking tell. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just gonna say, like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're sitting at home, and Ryan Cohen is probably rich as fuck. So
good for him.
Yeah, cool to talk shit. I don't know him. He ain't my buddy.
Listen, I've been an investor a long time. Some managers are good. Some managers are bad. Some were good. Then they become lazy. We don't know what he is right now. We're going to see. He's going to put up or shut up. And so far, he put up an NFT marketplace. He thought that was genius.
Well, I don't know if there's facts on that.
Well, facts? That's what he did. Do you remember? That was supposed to be... I remember when I was talking... When I was talking shit... Hold on. I remember when I was talking shit about GameStop 2 years ago. I said, GameStop and AMC are overvalued. AMC went down 95%. And people said, no, you don't understand. Movies are coming back, Martin. No, you don't understand. We have a gold mine or a silver mine or some bullshit. And we're going to sell popcorn. I said, okay. I added that all up and I said, it's still worth nothing. And GameStop, people said, now GameStop again. AMC makes GameStop look like Nvidia. It really does. It is that, AMC was that bad. But for GameStop, people said, Martin, you don't understand. We're getting into NFTs. It's going to be a big deal. Digital collectibles. I know that space. It's very crowded. Anybody who's taken 6 months of JavaScript, anybody who's taken 6 months of JavaScript can make an NFT marketplace. Bruno can do it. Brunito over here. Forget Saad. You don't even want to know what Saad could do. Saad could do that in his sleep. NFT marketplace, quick JavaScript, add a little Mongo database, make an Express server if you want, and it's over. 3 weeks, tops. And it failed. Everyone bought a loop ring name. Do you remember this? Does this not ring a bell to you? Anyway, Josh, what's up, man?
Hey, about we're soliciting questions and stuff, and I don't know, I'm just theorizing, and we just see this dynamic activity of elevator wealth and poverty with this GameStop action going up and down like nothing else, and has no basis in reality. But if
correct.
Have some changes, perhaps, like if GameStop would adopt some things, like maybe being like those live service arcades, maybe being like a VR arcade, maybe restoring like a rentals like Blockbuster back in the day.
Everyone has an idea, right? But there's one guy in charge, and he's got to decide what to do. And so far, he's closed some stores, but the company still loses money. They gave us the Q1 update. Guess what the update is? We're still losing money. We're a much smaller company now. Somehow that's supposed to be a good thing.
I think the best part of that would be just for the price to compress down to a point where someone that would come in and adopt those changing policies would buy it up and then make those changes happen, perhaps.
Well, I think that they have a CEO everyone loves, right?
He's not getting after it.
He's not doing the... I agree with you. He's not doing the job. Where's the growth? Where's the success? Where's the M&A you're talking about?
I think the shareholders a bit more power into injection, like, the shareholding votes and stuff like that, or maybe if we wait for the price to go down enough for someone else that might want to take their hand at it, might get some support.
You're speaking some blasphemy right now. Most people really like Ryan Cohen.
I wish you would be more adaptive to the changing economy.
Now I hope everyone listens to that right now, because you know what that is? That's called a frustrated ape. And you all soon will be frustrated too. Give it another year. You think in 2026, when GameStop's $11, you're going to be diamond-handed? You're going to be crowing right now? No! You're not. You're going to be pissed. You're going to say, I hate this Ryan Cohen. We need a new CEO. A new CEO will fix us. And then you'll start this process over and over again. What's up, Chris?
Hey, yeah, so I agree with you that the stock is, like, the company is super overvalued for where it's at and where it looks like it's going. But I wonder, like, if that's the case and if you're right, which I think you are, why not just do a massive short sale?
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, well, the other side of it is, like, if this cycle continues for a while, they could continue to sell more shares, raise more money, and then if they got really good at M&A, then potentially actually get into that value at some point.
It's a whole lot of ifs. I got to tell you, if I go to the park and I do 1,000 push-ups every day and run 6 miles a day, I might be really jacked, and then I might get a supermodel girlfriend, and then, I might hang out with Elon Musk and go on the spaceship. But unfortunately, all of those ifs aren't going to come true. You're a sophisticated guy. You know how it is.
Are you betting? Are you betting on it though, like on the short?
Yes.
That's kind of what I think is. I think that you can actually swing it in both directions for a while, because I think it'll be like 3 or 4 more of these cycles before the writing's on the wall.
I mean,
The music stops.
I think the music stops when there's a downturn, an economic downturn, and stocks like GameStop will trade at cash value, like $6.
Right. Yep.
And good stocks, good companies, you'll get a great bargain for them. Like, you might be able to get Nvidia at $1 trillion. You might be able to get Apple at half its price now, or a quarter, or something like that, 2/3 of its price.
So you're talking about all the music.
I'm talking about what naturally happens. We haven't had a nice downturn since 2008, and I'm not saying I'm bearish or anything. I'm just saying, because I don't know, who knows. But I'm just saying that we're a little overdue for a little bit of a bear run, and when a bear run happens, which I think is inevitable, the shittiest, crappiest stocks with the worst business models, like, I don't know, trying to sell physical games in a 2024, those are the kinds of stocks that'll get hurt the most. The apes will be extinct. I'm going to be celebrating in Dusseldorf with my Deutsche Bank bankers who put on a glorious total return swap for Shkreli. There'll also be some Nomura guys there. We'll be high-fiving. Maybe some other bankers, BNP Paribas, Barclays, all my Euro bankers who love to just give Shkreli credit. Shkreli, you want to short 5 million shares of GameStop? You don't have any cash for collateral? No problem.
Right, that's all you need. Collateral, and that's a short thing in the long run. That's basically it.
Martin, I have to head out pretty quick here.
Yes, what do you want?
Oh, hey, no, I was going to let you know I got to head out pretty...
I don't give a fuck. I don't know you. I don't give a fuck whether you've been head out or not. What's your problem? What do you want?
Oh, no, it wasn't a problem or anything like that.
It is a problem, you fucking fuckface. Now talk.
Wow. Jesus H, man. Wow. Didn't know you hated me so much.
I don't know you. You don't say anything.
Martin. All I was going to say, so you got a pretty big crowd in here, I don't know, shit. But anyway, tell him.
You're done, man. You're done. Don't ever come back here again. You're done.
Martin, what do you think that economic indicator you mentioned before, what do you think that's going to be?
I don't know.
Unemployment?
It already started a little bit today.
I was going to say it all kind of comes together, and, there's smarter macro guys. I suggest you follow someone like Michael Cow or others. But look, there always is some kind of downturn. We're not going to go 3 decades without a downturn, right? Like, it's going to happen. Is it going to happen this year or next year? I don't know. But eventually, there'll be an economic downturn. Stocks will drop. GameStop will drop a lot. Because you're going to look at your Robinhood account. You're going to look at your mortgage payment or your rent. And you're going to say, gee, I can't pay my rent with GameStop stock. I got to pay it with cash. So I'm going to sell this GameStop stock because it's a big asset for me, because I'm all in like an idiot. And I got to pay for that operation. Or one of my girlfriends hit me up last night and needed money for rent. I said, of course, babe. I sent her cash. I didn't send her GameStop stock. because they don't take GameStop stock where she lives. She probably bought some of this fucking stuff. That's why she needs money for rent. This bitch. Anyway.
I'm gonna be up front here. I'm gonna be up front, and I want your tomorrow morning. What's the play on GameStop? What are we doing tomorrow morning?
I don't play for tomorrow morning. What I play for is private jets to Dusseldorf and Berlin, signing the swap with Klaus, signing the swap with the American bankers. I won't name their names, B and G, who've taken care of me for a long time, who look at the German banker and say, this is our most sophisticated American client. And they know they're lying. And they say, this man deserves the bank's resources. Now, they don't care. Why? Because they get paid a bonus for the swap. They get a little taste, right? So if the German headquarters lets me trade $1 billion, they might get a $10 million bonus, maybe even a piece. So I take the swap, and they say, you know, you're going to maintain a diversified portfolio with this and all that. And I said, yeah, of course. Then I go all in short GameStop. And they can't do shit about it because they already committed to it. The bankers got the bonus. The only guy fucked here is Klaus, if the trade goes wrong, which it won't. And Klaus doesn't care because he's backstopped by the German government, which can't let Deutsche Bank fail. Deutsche Bank has a $1 trillion balance sheet. What do you think's on that $1 trillion balance sheet? All kinds of shitty trades like this one. I mean, other shitty trades, not mine. Mine's good.
I was going to say all roads lead back to Deutsche Bank.
Good old DB. Dumb bank.
So, question for you. I don't know if I've heard this brought up yet. I haven't been listening for super long. I sat in for a little bit yesterday while I was writing some code. I don't invest. I run an AI startup, so I don't have time. I was just listening yesterday while I was writing some code. But one thing I haven't heard brought up is, like, you know, personally for me, if I could think of a business that was worse to get into than selling games in a physical store, it would be selling consumer hardware. You can go listen. There's like 1,000 YC videos out there.
Are there?
About the pitfalls of getting into a hardware business or a hardware startup.
Really?
The upfront CapEx expenses, the competition, the supply chain issues with China.
Well, hold on. Let me take a step back there. It's interesting what you're saying there, because I'm trying to dissect that. So, obviously, getting into hardware to make something that competes with NVIDIA is probably risky and scary.
Are you talking about like going or something like that?
No. I'm talking about GameStop's pivot into selling controllers.
Sure.
I'm talking yesterday about how this is going to be the savior.
Branded controllers, branded.
I didn't hear anyone bring up like just how crappy of a business like selling consumer hardware actually is, and how fraught it is. And I'm sure GameStop is not doing this as their core competency, right? They're probably contracting this out.
It's another.
And that comes further peril. And I feel that just underscores the illegitimacy of this pivot.
It's a good question. Let me give you my 2 cents. So they obviously have some kind of channel, right? They have a channel where they have some kind of volume, right? They have $5 billion in revenue. So they're doing some kind of business there. I actually don't think it's that stupid, because for example, a pharmacy. Pharmacy loves to sell these in-house generics, right? The branded generics, which are their white label in-store generic equivalent. So when you go there, there's like Walmart's Claritin or CVS's Claritin. And they actually get a good margin on that, because retail margin could be as little as 10%, 20%, but the margin on those kinds of things can be a lot higher. Now, I don't disagree that selling branded, like like USB, like all these peripherals, like printer cords or like I don't know shit like that is pretty low end electronics that anybody can do, and Amazon's going to do better. And like I don't see that being some kind of like pathway to success. But while you have that distribution channel, why not sell a little higher margin stuff? Do the contracting. You can maybe get away with a 50% margin on some of that stuff, and get it to work. But to me, it's almost like there's a reason Radio Shack went bankrupt, right? It's kind of hard to get this to work, but I don't know. Maybe it's not the worst thing ever. We'll see what happens. If it works, we're gonna see higher gross margin. We're gonna see profits. We haven't seen any of that yet. So, does that make sense to you? I mean, I think you're right. Like
it makes sense, but just not the business that I personally would want to be in.
No, it's about as bad as it gets. I mean, he tried something really innovative. He tried NFTs, swung and missed. Now he's kind of going in the other direction, a little bipolar, saying let's just make a nice bricks and mortar retail company and really get it operating great. Why don't we just get this $5 billion in revenue to be profitable? Easier said than done. Everyone's trying to do the same thing. They're one of the few retailers that sells games and electronics. They're one of the few guys standing. Everyone else went bankrupt. So I don't know. To me, this is wishful thinking, and this is going to be a painful lesson. I love giving out painful lessons to people. And you're gonna probably quit the stock market. You're probably not going to say, you know what, Shkreli, you're right. Teach me more. You're going to say, I'm done with stocks. It's a rigged game. I hate stocks. I quit. And you're going to quit stocks for a long time. Maybe you'll try to buy real estate or something. Then you'll come back to stocks 10 years from now when some other GameStop type bullshit happens. I read you guys like a book. Anybody else want to talk Cobra?
Yo, hi.
What's up, man?
Can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
So I've been watching your stream like for an entire day about the GameStop and how it doesn't just make sense, and I understand that like shorting is the smart thing to do, but I think you haven't said anything about the timing. Or do you not think that you might be just rushing with the short? Maybe like in next week you would find a better price.
Sure.
Time to short.
It's always the age-old question of investing. To me, a lot of that is voodoo. There are people who are good at it and better at it than me. My coworkers are much, much better at it. So I don't always love to try to time everything because I think it's like, random, it's stochastic. It's just like you make your bet that it's a short. You might be early, you might be late, but you do it. And you got to make your bet. And if you're good at these kinds of bets, your good luck and your bad luck more or less cancel each other out. And some people can make it skill where they seemingly have a sixth sense, where they're in the matrix or something and they can see what the future price is. I can't do that. Best thing I could do is do my homework, do my research, rely on years of experience, even do some calls like this, where maybe if I miss something, to pick it up, somebody with half a brain gets up on here and says, well, Martin, didn't you know that a quarter of the stores are actually profitable and they'd be doing 100 in cash flow if they just shut down everything else? And I'd say, oh, whoa, I can't short that. Hold up. But nobody's done that. And, I just let it rip, man. I don't sit there and worry and hem and haw about, oh, can I get in at 35 instead of 32 or 36 or 38? Yeah, I'd rather get in at 38 than 32. But I don't know if it's going to go to 38. It might go to 28 before it goes to 38. It's instinct, and my instinct tells me this is a fine time to hit it. But, we'll see. I could be wrong. It's a good question. Timing, that's a good question for somebody who has that skill. Steve Cohen, someone like that. Someone who's really sharp at that sixth sense. I am not sharp at that sixth sense. I'm sharp at analyzing the fundamentals of businesses. I'm very sharp at figuring out what companies are full of shit. And this one stinks. Stinks like my cat's litter box.
So let's say so let's say you miss the timing, and it's early, and the price goes up. Like, what's the next step you're taking, like, if the trade isn't going your way? Like,
Average the price down, load up on more shorts.
Okay.
No, don't listen to Bruno.
That shit's going to zero, come on.
Well,
yeah, I just want to know the next step.
Yes.
Because obviously we would like to know the best timing.
At 35, there's some panicked phone calls. At 40, this is the Brooklyn Bridge, 682 feet. And at 45, there's the Chrysler Building, 1,250 feet. It's got to go down, okay? There's not many choices here. Why do you think I'm doing this call? I don't have the time or patience for this thing to keep going up. And those guys in Germany will kill me. So, yeah, we can't let it go up. All right? We can't let it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Can't let it go up. We're gonna.
Look, they won't kill you if you kill yourself fast,
That's right. And the other, well, the secret there are a couple secret weapons. First of all, there's Nomura. Nomura lost $2 billion lending my boy Bill Wang, who's at trial right now. Good luck, Bill. You beat this. They lent Bill Wang a lot of money. They lost $2 billion there. But Nomura is so desperate, just like Deutsche Bank. Nomura is so desperate to be in the game in the U.S. They want the U.S. market share versus Goldman and Morgan Stanley, the guys who really make the money in the U.S. I can't deal with those guys. They won't deal with me. But Nomura says, "Oh, we need to give this guy money." So I'll go to Nomura, borrow another $1 billion, bail out my Deutsche Bank short, and stay in the game a little longer.
Did you disclose earlier what your entry point was?
It's like, unfortunately, I think it starts with a 2 instead of a 3.
I just wanted to add free Bill. Definitely free Bill.
He did nothing wrong.
Get him back home where he belongs.
He did nothing wrong.
Right, if it goes to 40 though.
If it goes to 40, we got a problem. We got a serious problem. But it can't go to 40 because it's not a $20 billion company. It's not worth $20 billion. It's not worth $5 billion. So how's it going to...
Hey, Martin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Not trying to interrupt you, but I think the thing that is getting ignored here is I think you're dead on. The fundamentals are completely out of whack with GameStop. It makes no sense to own this stock. But the reason and the motivation that everyone is, funneling behind it is to get back at guys who take that view, who are the very kind of Wall Street view of hey, this makes no sense, because those are the guys who are going to go short, and that was what led to the short squeeze in 2021. Was they took, the Wall Street guys took that very narrow-sighted view of the fundamentals don't make any sense, and then set the stage for every one of the retail guys to come in and be like, hey, listen, we don't care because fuck you. And I think that's primarily the motivation of most of these holders of GameStop and the saga that we've seen here is just fuck you, Wall Street.
And they will pay the price for that hubris. That's
why it's always been called dumb money.
Yeah, but there's a bottomless pit of capital to keep buying the short position.
So I have a question.
Hey, Mark.
No, I agree.
Can I respond? Thank you, Chris. I don't disagree. One of the reasons that I'm here is to try to show people what a big mistake they're making. That throwing away hard-earned money that your family is going to depend on, that you're going to depend on when you're older, is foolish and crazy. And you should buy a company that's going to help you retire and help your friends and family. Instead, this is going to send you to the poorhouse. But if you insist on going to the poorhouse, I'll be more than happy to take all your money. The last guy who tried, our great friend who ran a great hedge fund called Melvin Capital, Gabe, you guys took some of his money. Okay, fine. But you can't keep doing it, and I'm here to collect the rest. Say hello to the bad guy. Say hello to me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure that Roaring Kitty... I don't know what's going to happen to him. Let's just put it that way. I don't know what's going to happen to him. Shit happens all the time. It's unpredictable. We'll see what happens to him. I don't think it's going to end well. Let's just put it that way. And I think GameStop stock will be single digits. And I'll be sitting on a big mountain of Nomura Deutsche Bank Cash, and you'll all be sitting there looking at your Robinhood, hitting refresh like, what's happening? Why isn't it going up? Why isn't it going up?
Speaking of that, Martin, where do you see Nvidia ending with the most? So are we short this year? So we're shorting GameStop tomorrow morning. Is that my understanding?
I think you should be short it, but that's just me.
Only go short if you can ride until it breaks.